Hey everybody, what's up? Chad Wesley Smith here for Juggernaut Training Systems, and we're going to be giving you 5 tips to improve your squat, joined by 2018 USAPL National Champion, Kristen Dunsmore. Chris, thanks for helping me out. So our first tip to improve your squat is going to be to tighten your setup. And most of that tightness is going to come from your upper back. So 3 steps to do that. First, you're going to move your hands closer. Then you're going to squeeze everything towards the middle of your body. You're going to drive your elbows underneath the bar. Chris has got good tight hand position. She's pinching her shoulder blades together. She's driving her elbows toward each other right behind her back. And once she's done those 2 steps, then she can try and drive her elbows under the bar a little bit. Though if you're doing a good job of step 1 and 2, step number 3 is going to be kind of imperceptible. One point to consider when setting your hands close, especially if you can go really close like Kristen, is we still want to ensure that your elbow is aligned inside your hand. So if you're struggling with shoulder mobility to get in this tight setup position, here's 2 simple drills for you. You're gonna lay on your stomach, so prone position, I just call these shoulder slides. You're just pulling your arms back into the position that you're looking for, just focusing on the scapula moving. The other drill we call a reverse snow angel. So you're gonna go from hands straight out in front of you, then all the way back, turning over to hands right above your butt and back to the start position. Just going through that 10, 15 times before you get underneath the bar, and then every set just kind of moving the bar down a little bit farther down your back, getting a little bit tighter every time. Our second tip to improve your squat has to deal with your breathing and bracing patterns. So a cue that I really like here is to push your obliques out. Oftentimes you might hear to push your big air in your belly or push your abs into your belt, but if you're only pushing forward, you're not creating as much tension as possible. So if we focus on pushing your obliques out to the side, you're going to create that pressure sideways, but also forward and backward to go along with it. A simple drill to better understand this cue of pushing your obliques out is 90-90 breathing. This is a really popular exercise we use in a ton of warm-ups. So as we're trying to flatten our low back against the ground, if you're having a hard time feeling that cue of air into your obliques, go ahead and just push your hands into your obliques. So as you take big air in through the nose, you can feel that pressure increasing there. So our next tip to help you improve your squat is to squat with your knees and hips together. Very often you'll hear cues about sitting back or pushing your hips back to initiate the squat. That tends to put the weight too far back in the foot, adding length to the hamstring, sometimes making it hard to get to depth. So we want to simultaneously brake at our knees and hips when initiating the squat. So if you're struggling with this cue, simple drill to do in your warm-ups. It's gonna be a goblet squat where it's less weight, less stress, so you can feel it a little bit easier, what it feels like to start, maybe knees too early, hips too early, all the different variances. So a couple reps of goblet squats early in your warm-up before you get to the empty bar. Simple way to reinforce this idea. Our next tip to help improve your squat is going to be big toe pressure. Similarly to the hips back idea, there's been a lot of cueing for the squat over the last couple decades that's about emphasizing getting back on the heel. We want to have full foot pressure as we squat, and because so many people have been cued to be back on their heel, cueing them to be on the big toe or push their big toe into the ground as they go is going to help find that tripod foot, equal pressure between big toe, little toe, and heel. So as Chris gets under the bar here, when she sets up, and if you see our meet videos, you probably hear me in the background just yelling big toe. I want her pushing her big toe into the floor so she has that even pressure throughout the whole lift and is able to fully utilize her quads in the squat. If the weight's too far back on the heels, it's going to become more of a hamstring movement coming out of the hole, and it's just not good joint angles for the hamstring to help move the weight effectively. So if you're struggling to find this feeling of big toe pressure, or maybe limited in your ankle mobility a little bit, a really good drill to reinforce this feeling is a front foot elevated split squat. So it doesn't need to be very much elevation, just the plate is fine. And then to really emphasize driving your knee forward to the limit of your ankle range of motion. So you're going to feel the big toe pressure throughout this entire movement. Our final tip to help you improve your squat is to push your back into the bar. The great Ed Cohen once told me that we're trying to create equal pressure with our feet into the floor as our back into the bar. So especially if you're someone who struggles with their hips rising early or traveling backwards in the squat, or maybe you have a particularly strong squat compared to your deadlift, you need to be very active, driving your upper back into the bar as your first move coming out of the hole. So if you're struggling to execute this cue properly, there's not much to do from a technical standpoint with it besides just practice, but it may just mean that you're lacking relative low back strength compared to your quads. So including exercise like back raises, especially with the bar across your back, can help you feel that feeling of driving your upper back into the bar. So there are 5 tips to improve your squat. Hopefully you'll learn something helpful that's going to help you put some more pounds on the bar. Please subscribe to the channel, check out jtsstrength.com for all our apparel, books, online coaching options, and download the Juggernaut AI app for Apple and Android.